Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will be discussing about solving quadratic functions using the square root method. Now on the square root method, basically what we do here is we get the square root for the given function so that we are able to eliminate the square either outside the value of x or with the x. So what do I mean by that? So let's just proceed with our examples. So for example, we have our 9x squared is equals to 4. Again, for us to solve for x, you must be reminded that x must be alone. Meaning, x must not have anything beside it. May it be an exponent. So ito yung mga, these are the things that we must remove. An exponent, a numerical coefficient, and of course, the sign. And to be specifically, what sign we need to remove? We need to remove the negative sign. Okay? Those are the things that we need to remove when it comes to solving for the value of x. Now on this given, you will notice that the value of x, which is this one, it has the following numbers or values beside it: the exponent of 2 and then the numerical coefficient of 9. So what we need to do there is, of course, we need to eliminate the number and then the exponent. So basically what we do in the square root method is we do the square root last. Okay, if there are no parentheses, we do the square root last. Again, if no parentheses, if no parentheses, we do square root, we do the square root last kapag walang parentheses. In this case, wala siyang square root, wala siyang parentheses, therefore we do the square root last. We transfer 9 first. So basically, what we are doing here is we eliminate 9, and since the operation between this number is multiplication, this is actually 9 times x squared is equals to 4. We need to eliminate 9. If 9 is immediately beside x, just like this one, how do we eliminate those kinds of numerical coefficient? We just simply divide it on both sides. So we divide 9 here and then also 9. So again, that is according to the laws of mathematics, that whatever you do on the left hand side, you also do on the right hand side. So what happens here? 9 is cancelled out, but in this case, 9 cannot be divided, so it is retained as 4 over 9. So let's proceed. Since it is cancelled out, we have x squared on the other side and we have 4 over 9 on the right side. So what do we do next? We just simply have to eliminate the square, and to eliminate the square, we just simply have to get the square root. That's why this method is called the square root, because what we do specifically is we get the square root. The square, this one, and then the square root, this one, is cancelled out. So this becomes x. So you will notice that x is alone already. Wala na siyang katabing exponent, wala na rin siyang katabing numerical coefficient, and wala rin siyang katabing a sign, which is yung minus sign. So, and then on the right side, what we need to do is we have to evaluate. Since we are being asked what is the square root of 4 over 9, you just have to check what is the square root of 4 and what is the square root of 9. So that is just simply 2 over 3. And this is your final answer. So on your case, you have to always box your final answer when you are being asked to solve for something, kasi we don't want to have any confusions na baka ito pala yung sagot nyo, but in reality ito yung kailangan ko. So next one, say we have another example. Say we have x plus 2 squared is equals to 11. So in this case, what do we need to do is we just need to again get the square root of this given, kasi yun naman yung main method natin. But sabi ko nga sa inyo, on this case, if there is no parenthesis, we do the square root last. On this case, we can do the square root immediately. Kasi nga, may parenthesis. So, in this case again, we do the square root. We get the square root of both sides. And the square is already eliminated. So, what is left is x plus 2 is equals to square root of 11. Now, why is it square root of 11? Because, of course, 11 has no square root. Okay? So, since 11 has no square root, because 11 is not a perfect square number. Ano ba yung mga perfect square number? We have 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, and so on. So, ito yung mga perfect square number, ESN. Okay? So, in this case, since 11 is not a perfect square number, therefore, what we need to do is we just simply have to leave it as is. So, ganyan na lang siya. In this case, since the square is already eliminated, we remove the parenthesis na. So, again, pag wala na siya dun number sa labas, wala nang 2 dyan sa labas, pwede mo nang alisin yung parenthesis. But that is if it is just the parenthesis. Okay, huwag kayong mag-aalis na hanggat may katabi siya. For example, may katabi dyan, huwag nyo aalisin yung parenthesis. The next thing we need to do is, again, we leave x alone, so we transfer our positive 2. And when we are transferring positive 2 on the other side, ang ginagawa natin in mathematics is we change the sign. Okay? So, this becomes minus 2. And since x is alone, and this one cannot be evaluated, hindi mo na kaya, then this is your final answer. So, let's have another example. Okay. Say we have 16 x minus 3 squared is equals to 25. So again, since may parenthesis, una na lang natin gawin is we get the square root. Okay? But on this case, may katabi pa nga siya. Okay? So, of course, nag-i-square root lang tayo kapag may parenthesis, kapag wala na siyang katabi. Pero since meron siya katabi, ilipat natin sa kabila. So, pag naglilipat, we divide it by 16 kasi ang aim natin ma-cancel out siya. So, we divide both sides by 16. Then, we will have x minus 3 squared is equals to 25 over 16. Hindi mo kayang i-divide though, then please don't force yourself. Then again, may square root na naman. We get the square root. We get the square root. Cancel and cancel. The answer is, on this case, square root ng 25 is 5. And on this case, square root ng 16 is 4. And then we transfer 3 because again, ang aim natin, dapat mag-isa si x. So that is x is equals to 5 over 4 minus 3. And since of course, we want to practice your fractions, please subtract yung 5 over 4 minus 3. And the answer there is just simply 5 minus 4 equal 12 over 4. Cross product. 5, 12, direct 4. And the answer here is negative 7. Oh no, this becomes plus pala. This becomes plus. Okay, so the answer here is just simply, kasi nag-transpose ka, so it becomes plus. So the answer here is just simply plus yan is 17 over 4. And that is the value of your x.